Today, we're going to talk about a case of a client where a brand new contractor with no experience in the field has closed over $1 million in contracts in just under 3 months with absolutely no experience and everything coming through cold advertisements. So how a new contractor with no referrals managed to close over $1 million in jobs in just under 3 months and all through ads. How did that happen and how did we pull it off for him? Now, I'm going to talk about a bit of context around him. So we mentioned that he has absolutely no experience. He's brand new into the game. And what he did is he joined one of our other clients, which had a showroom and other contractors that were working together. And he partnered with another person where he has experience. So they were 50-50, but this other person is not as well spoken. He's very good with the technical side and he's very knowledgeable with everything related to renovations, constructions, and helping homeowners decorate and transform their homes, materials, etc. But he's not the type of sales guy. Whereas him, or the person I'm referring to, he's good with speaking to customers. So they work together. Of course, they join the showroom to be able to use the showroom with the materials, with the designers, etc. And of course, they would have to give a small cut to the showroom as well because they're using their space. So that is the context around this client. From that point on, the moment he joined, of course, he's brand new and he just started this with his other partner. They have no referrals, they have no network, they have no connections, and everything's cold. Now, the first thing he thought about is, okay, well, I'm gonna run some ads, I'm gonna put some money into advertisements, and then we're gonna start getting leads and getting new customers this way. And I'm gonna talk about what kind of advertisements we ran for him, what did we do, what worked, what didn't work, and why it worked. He came on and the first thing he did is we hired a professional actress, not entirely 100% professional, but this person is going to be filming videos and has to be well spoken, has to look professional to give a good first impression because that matters a lot. We also helped him shoot that advertisement with the showroom so that it gives an even more professional aesthetic. Now, I'm going to show you on the screen right now what the advertisement looks like so you can see how it was set up, but it's really not that complicated. You don't have to overthink the advertisements, and it's just really a short, for the ad, it's just a really short video that's around 30 seconds. Some we stretch it to 45 seconds, and rarely do we reach 60 seconds. And the good way to think about this is, it's kind of like an elevator. We have to be very direct with what we can offer people. We have to be direct. We have to be short and to the point because people don't have all day to watch a very long advertisement, and keep it simple. And that's pretty much it. And also of course, on the advertisements, the reason why we just to film it in the showroom is because something that matters a lot is credibility. If you film it in some random beat up basement, unless it's your own project or your site, then I wouldn't recommend that because people don't know you. So we have to show as much credibility as possible and why they need to be working with you. So if you use, in this case, the showroom, which is a big showroom, they have designers, they have materials, they have a lot of professionals that are there, then it gives a good first impression, and that's what we want. That's about the ad, and it's not anything fancy. Again, it's not some kind of Hollywood ad. You don't have to put like a very high production. As a matter of fact, we actually filmed that ad with an iPhone. You film the ad, you hire the actress, you put some money into the editing, and the entire cost of that ad is less than $100. It's really not that expensive, and it goes a very, very long way. So that's for the ad. And now what happens after the ad? That's also very important. So let's talk about the sequence of what happens. So we have a video ad, and the reason why we do a video ad, and by the way, we post that video ad through Meta, or aka Facebook, and the partner platforms such as Instagram. Why? Compared to something like Google Ads versus, let's say, Google Ads. Why did we choose Facebook ads over Google ad in this specific case? Is because this client is new. So they don't have a website, they don't have like an optimized landing page, etc. And Google ads, people have to look you up. Yes, they might have more intent, they might type in renovations in their city, which is Toronto, like renovations Toronto. But what happens if you look it up, you're gonna have a lot of different other competitors that will pop up that are all offering the same thing. And things such as renovations, interior design, it's not something that's very rare. There's a lot of different companies, especially in a big city like Toronto, that offers the same thing. So he doesn't have a website, he's new to the game. It's much better if they can only film in terms of cost and in terms of speed, especially speed, to film a video ad where you can get in front of the people directly and pitch them. That's the way that we thought about it. Because Google Ads, you have to make a website, you have to make a landing page, then they have to click on it, etc. Then you still have to build the entire thing. It might cost in the high thousands and it might take multiple months at a time. I don't think that was a good idea. Versus the video ad, it took us a day to film it, 1 day to edit it, and within the third day we had it launched, and then by the end of the third day the leads were already coming in. And that is the reason why we chose Facebook Meta ads over Google ads, when especially for people that are new. For any client that we have that are new, we always recommend to go with Facebook first because it's faster, it's cheaper, you tend to get more volume right off the bat. And that's why we do it. Unless you're a little bit more advanced and you already have a brand, you have a good website that's going on. So then we can start competing with Google. But for him, simple Facebook ad. Again, I'm gonna put it back on the screen, what the ad looks like. And then now let's go back to where we were talking about the sequence. What happens? Because we're not simply putting out a video ad and then the deal will close. It's not magic. It's not really the way it works. You have to think about, okay, like usual sales process, what it looks like when from the start to finish, from when a client gets to know you to when they do a deal and close the contract and put a deposit at the end. What do they typically go through? So now we have the first step, which is you have to get their attention. They see a video, you make a pitch like, okay, I'm in Toronto, I can help you for home renovations. What type of renovations exactly? What can you do for them? So you make a quick pitch and then they're interested and they get to fill out a little form or application to let our client know what do they want to do. So like how big is their space? Like is it a home? Is it a business? What city or region are they located in and what's the budget around that they're thinking about? So of course, the city, location, that's important because they're not going to travel thousands of kilometers away to do a project. And we have to also know a timeline, like when are they looking to start? Is this a project they want to do in the next 2 to 3 months or as soon as possible? Or are they thinking more down the line, like 6 months to a year later? So the timeline is important. Then of course we have the budget that they need to let us know. And finally, any ideas or vision they have with the renovations they want to do. Do they want a more classical style or do they want something more modern? What's the budget depending on their budget and what kind of renovations or transformation can they afford to do? The materials they pick, etc. So that's what the form is for. It's mainly for qualifying the people. And then, now this is where I'm gonna put it in a different color. So far, it looks simple and it is. Starting from the next step is where people start getting it wrong and it's very confusing because now we get into the sales part. Now, remember, the lead that comes in from the ad that fill out a form, they're curious about what you can do for them. Yes, they're interested, but they're very, very cold. They don't know you. And the worst thing you can do up to this point is to assume and treat the lead like a referral, but they're not. You can't treat them like a referral. There's no common point of trust or common point of contact that was referred by a friend, a family member, someone that they know. So they don't know you. The only thing they have is they're interested in what you have to offer and they're curious about what you can do for them. It's not a referral and there's no trust. So it's very important that we build the trust at this point. So you cannot immediately assume that they're going to close and if they don't reply, if they ghost, if they take a little bit more time to get back to you, that they're not a good lead. And far from that, a lot of times these are very, very good leads, but just have to know how to treat them the right way. And you have to learn how to engage properly with the leads that are coming here. And that's what we really helped our client with. That's what we taught him. That's what we consulted him with. So the moment the lead comes in, and especially if they're qualified, how to properly engage with the lead. And the way to do that is to treat it like a typical back and forth, because something that we get a lot is the deals, they don't close as fast. Sometimes it takes 2-3 months of back and forth. Yes, I agree. But that doesn't mean that we cannot condense the cycle and make it faster. One of the best ways to do that is what the lead usually goes through in those like 2 to 3 months of follow-up and back and forth. Is there a way that we can condense it? I'm not talking about a couple hours, but just a few weeks to make it much faster. So anything that they go through in those 2 to 3 months, we're gonna really stack it, get them motivated, excited, and especially if the timeline here matches and they wanna do it fast, it's a bit more of an urgent project, then it's really gonna work. And the way that you do that is, remember, we have the ad that's here, then they fill out the form over here. And up to this point, this is normal, but now what you have to do is start stacking trust building campaigns or trust building, we can say follow-ups, and you just keep hammering them through different angles with the different trust building assets. In this case, I'm going to put some examples on the screen. For example, we took some of the other projects the showroom did or other contractors did that they're related with, and we just show them to the same leads. Like, hey, for example, John, I saw you fill out a form and you're interested in X, Y, and Z project, and here's some similar projects that we did with you, etc., etc. Here's some other projects that we did that's in the same city and region with you a couple months ago. So we have to show them proof, essentially. We show them as much proof as possible. We focus on customer service, make them feel good. Very important is give them the confidence to work with you. Even if they don't answer, don't just follow up by saying, hey, did you see my message? Did you see my proposal? Did you see my estimate? What do you think? Is the price too high or do you want to go cheaper? No. The important part is Make them feel like they can trust you. Get them excited. Don't ask them if they've seen your message. Keep sending them trust building materials, different previous projects you've done. Show them, okay, if they want a modern design or luxurious, a more high-end luxurious design, say like, hey, by the way, John, I saw that your budget was around X, Y, and Z. Here are some examples that I think would be a good fit for what you have in terms of the vision with your renovation, or here's different design that we can do according to your budget. Let me know what you think. Or here's some examples that we did with our company last month or the previous few months that's in the same city, same region as you. The client was a bit of a similar budget as well, but for example, this client had a higher budget, this is what they got. This client, a lower budget, this is what they got. They might look the same, but of course, the materials that they use is not the same. So you keep finding ways to get back into the conversation. Get back into conversation. And as long as they reply, it's a good sign. And usually, I'm starting to digress, but the main point is, what you want to aim for is a good 20 to 30 touch points. And I mentioned this concept a lot in my other videos, but it's truly really important because you think about it, even if you stretch it to all your leads that close like within 2 or 3 months, what they really go through is around also 20 to 30 touch points. But what we're simply doing is we condense those touch points in a shorter cycle. Instead of 2 to 3 months, we make them go through the same 20 to 30 touch points in 2 to 3 weeks. And from different angles, like text, this is what they might prefer to. Not everyone wants to get on a call, and it's very selfish of you to assume they always want to spend time calling you or reply to a call. They're busy, they might have jobs, they might be working, etc. They might have family, so text is usually preferred. You can use email, of course, when they're available and they want to get on a call. Then social media that you send them, or we target them with content, with the ads. That's what we help you with as well. Like anything that I mentioned here, when we show them different projects, we retarget these people with content. It's really, really cheap too. And imagine in those 2 to 3 weeks, they see all those things that are designed to build the trust and get them motivated and confident in you. What would happen to the lead? Now, of course, I can't guarantee that they will close, but the odds, I bet they would be much, much higher. And that's exactly what happened. And what you need to understand is, especially if you're selling something that's not like super revolutionary or some rocket ships where there's, we can say there's a lot of competitors offering the same things, then what you're, like for example, in this case, the client is not selling renovation. That's only the thing that he does. But what he's truly selling through his marketing is his team, his brand. Why? Because a lot of people are also selling renovations. They can get renovations from multiple and many different companies in the same city. But why do they end up choosing our client, or you in this case, could be you? Is because of your brand or your team, and really how you make them feel, what you can give them, the confidence you can give them is what truly matters. And that's how we structured the entire campaign. And what ended up happening is he had a very good lead that came in that followed the exact pattern that we're explaining throughout this entire video. Came in, now I'm going to go a bit into the details. And the project specifically is a lady. She came in, she had children that were studying in Toronto. She moved from Vancouver to Toronto and she bought a home. So she bought a new home, which is a very common reason why they want renovations, is because she bought a new home, but the home is outdated. Now it's located in a good neighborhood, but it's simply outdated and it's old. So they want to renovate it since they're going to be spending a lot of time for the next few years with her children's studies. She wants to renovate it so she can feel a lot better in the space, so it's not old and moldy and smells bad and etc. All those reasons. But a lot of people, they buy a home, they want to renovate it because it's old, although it's a good neighborhood, because they're going to live in it. They want to feel good every day in their home, in their space. That's what happened. She explained the situation, and it was a $2 million home located in a very good neighborhood. And initially, the deal that she signed with our client was a $480,000 deal. And throughout the next few months, of course, she had additions that went into it, landscape and some furniture, etc. And the overall value of the entire project just kept going up. Why? Because let's go back to what we said. The confidence you give to your clients, how you make them feel, is what led to all those things happening. And from this one single project, they ended up hitting over $1 million. And by the way, that's from one project. We didn't count all the other projects that he's signing. Now in this video, I'm only talking about this specific project because it's a big project, but he also started closing smaller projects on the side, things that are around $100,000, some maybe a kitchen and a basement, smaller homes, etc. He closed just a few other ones within those short months, but this is how you run the ads and start getting quality clients without the referrals, and that's what we did for him. So I hope this video was helpful to you. There's many cases where we help our clients going from not running any ads at all to running ads, and that's exactly what we do. And most of our clients, they come to us because they want to expand beyond referrals, and that's what happens a lot. But in this case, the client didn't have any referrals at all. He was new to the game. He didn't have any connections. He didn't have any previous experience as well. So that's the exact steps that he followed. That's what we did for him. And also talking about the ads, it's not something that's super expensive as well. He put around just a couple $1,000s, we can say, in the ads, and the ROI ended up being very, very high. So if you know what you're doing, then it's going to be a very profitable way to get new clients. But very important to keep in mind is the ads are not just a magical thing that we do. Of course, what is also very important is the sales part that I explained earlier in the video. So you cannot just expect to run ads. Of course, we cannot guarantee anything as a team as well. Like, if you run the ads, we can get you the leads in, we can get you the quality leads in. But at the end of the day, the sales part is very, very important, which we also help with, like how to properly engage with the leads, how to ensure that you have the highest odds of closing that lead. And it's all the things that we talked about in this video. So I hope this was helpful to you. I have a lot more cases similar to this coming up in the upcoming videos as well.